Hello everyone, our research is titled From Reinforcement to Motivation: How Informal Cooking Games Shaped ESL Learners' Vocabulary Acquisition and Engagement. In this study, we explore two main questions. First, does the behaviorist mechanism, namely stimulus, response, reinforcement, used in the game Airplane Chef, effectively support ESL learners in acquiring new vocabulary? Second, how does the satisfaction or frustration of basic psychological needs, especially autonomy, competence, and relatedness, during gameplay influence learners' motivation? Our research group consists of 4 members: Ma Xunan, Huang Chen, Ding Wenli, and Liu Jianping.
Now we will go through our finding. So this part is the pre and the post-test result, and addressing the argue-1 shows the effect of game-based input on ESL vocabulary acquisition. To explore this, we compare the pre-test and the post-test results, and the results show a clear improvement in vocabulary performance. We can see that the average vocabulary accuracy improved from 45% in the pre-test to 59% in the post-test. And we also break the test result down by question type. Total have 3 types. First, the most noticeable improvement came from the multiple choice questions. The score rose from 50% to 73%. This shows that the game was particularly effective in helping students recognize words, form, and meaning in the context, which is often the first step in vocabulary acquisition. Second, we have the matching question, which also showed a solid increase from 45% to 60%. This suggests that the game helps students connect English words with their meaning in Chinese, reinforcing their receptive understanding. Lastly, the improvement in fill-in-the-blank questions was relatively limited, from 50% to 25%. This tells that while the game supported recognition tasks, students still struggle with productive vocabulary tasks like spelling and active recall, which typically require more time and targeted practice. Now let's move on to question 2, which examines how students' basic psychological needs were affected during the gameplay. We used part 1 of the questionnaire to measure 3 key dimensions based on self-determination theory: autonomy, competence, and relatedness, each with both satisfaction and frustration item. If we look at the bar chart on the left, we can see that students consistently reported higher satisfaction score than frustration scores across all 3 dimensions, suggesting an overall positive psychological experience during gameplay. Then we see the details of the 3 parts. First, autonomy. Students feel a strong sense of control and freedom while playing. The satisfaction score was 4.04, while frustration was much lower at 2.26. This shows the game provided meaningful choices and flexibility. Then, competence. Learners feel capable of completing in-game tasks. The score for competence satisfaction was 3.94 compared to the 2.56 for frustration. This means the feedback and the reward helps reinforce a sense of achievement. Third, relatedness. Students also feel connected during gameplay. The score 3.88 in the satisfaction and only 2.5 in frustration. This suggests that the character tasks help build a sense of emotional and social connection. To summarize, the data shows that the game-based learning environment not only provided a language input, but also met students' psychological needs, which plays an important role in sustaining motivation and engagement.
This slide represents the open-ended findings related to the research question 2, which is focused on the students' motivation and attitudes during the gameplay. Through thematic analysis, we identify 4 key themes. First one is the increased engagement. Students found the game more interesting and enjoyable than traditional vocabulary exercise. Secondly, the vocabulary improvement. Many students reported better memory of practical words like microwave and spatula, and some used them in writing. Thirdly, sense of achievement. Students felt more confident after completing tasks, thanks to the feedback and the rewards. Fourthly, the time-related stress. A few students mentioned feeling pressure from the fast-paced design. And overall, these responses show that the game can not only help with vocabulary, but also positively shift students' learning attitudes and motivation.
Now we move on to the discussion of RQ1, which focuses on how behaviorist learning mechanism in Airplane Chef supported vocabulary acquisition. And our study confirmed that even a non-instructional mobile games can positively affect ESL learners' vocabulary learning. So from the behaviorist perspective, the game's feedback, rewards, and repetition can form a classical stimulus, response, and reinforcement cycle. So in the Airplane Chef, the features like passengers' comments, scoring, and the retry options served as external reinforcers and help students unconsciously and repeatedly engage with the target vocabulary. So as a result, we saw the biggest gain in recognition-based tests like the multiple choice and the matching. And also, on the other hand, the production tests such as the fill-in blank shows less improvement, like due to how the output demands. These findings support the research RQ1 and validate that even cultural and non-educational games can promote the vocabulary development when they include behaviorist learning elements. And we also compared our findings to other researchers like the Hara et al. 2025, applying that the Skinner theory to mobile games, and also they similarly found that the repetitive input and the feedback led to the vocabulary gains and improved the learners' engagement. And this is a discussion of the RQ2, which looks how psychological needs influenced the students' motivation and learning attitudes during the gameplay. And let's start with the positive effects on the left hand. So according to our data, most students reported high levels of motivation and emotional engagement. So this can be explained using self-determination theory, which says that satisfaction of autonomy, competence, and relatedness can support the internal motivation. So, and also the students' open-ended responses emphasize the feelings like interest, sense of achievement, and effectiveness. So, showing that the game environment help meet these psychological needs. And also, our finding aligned with the Formosa et al. 2022. They reported that when the game users are satisfied by the three needs in the experience of the game, they would perform better internal motivation and have mental well-being. And also we noticed some challenges, like a few students mentioned the stress and anxiety, especially due to the fast pace or repeated failure in the game. And this may show that the need for abstraction, concepts discussed by the Van Stink et al. 2020. So real unmet needs actually reduce the motivation, and it causes the battle or they 2022. They emphasize that the maintain cognitive balance and appropriate test difficulty is crucial for long-term engagement. So, in summary, the game-based learning can support internal motivation by satisfying students' psychological needs, but the designers must carefully manage test pacing and failure feedback to prevent the motivational loss. And that's all about our funding part. Thank you.